Travel day!
Travel day!
Where are we going?
Well, we're in Indiana, and we're staying in Indiana.
We're just going from the south to the north.
Yeah, so it's about 4 hours by RV Trip Wizard, so it shouldn't take us quite as long as the RV Trip Wizard because it has us as average miles per hour is like 45.
Gotcha.
And the highway is like 70.
Yeah. Are you driving today? You are? I've lost my job. I've lost my job completely.
I like driving.
The only thing I'm useful for now is parking it.
And dumping the black tanks.
And dumping the black tanks. Oh my gosh.
And being my personal Siri.
Oh yeah, well, we'll talk about that in another video. What's up everyone, welcome back to One Strange Adventure and welcome to the next video. Today we are headed to northern Indiana. This is the start of our who knows how long trip it will be to get the things addressed on this RV. In this video I'm going to tell you a little bit about what else we have that's going to be fixed at Affinity RV, or at least get an estimate to get it fixed at Affinity and then taking it to Grand Design. So thankfully I'm off this week, planned it out. Wednesday we got to be at Affinity RV and they'll send the information over to Grand Design, and then the following Wednesday we will be at Grand Design. We're actually going to go Tuesday and stay at Grand Design's facility overnight because we asked for a campsite, and then Wednesday they take the RV at 6 a.m. So we're not exactly sure how this is all going to work, but we will play it by ear and we will keep you guys posted.
But this piece right here, it's got a gap in the door.
Yeah, it probably just needs to be tightened. You're recording. I think we 5 tries on this pig. It's Wednesday morning. It is August 4th. It's about 8 a.m. and we are just about ready to pull out. We are in Indiana, getting ready to go over to Affinity RV for them to do the initial estimate. Don't know how long that's going to take or what that involves, but we have a list for them. We're going to get there. I'm going to film some of that process for you guys. Affinity is awesome to work with. But we're going to see what they say, and then they have to send an estimate over to Grand Design. Grand Design has to approve, get them parts if they need parts, and so we'll see how long that takes, because we're scheduled to be at Grand Design next Wednesday for them to start on the side door. So, okay, we're getting ready to leave our baby. We're at Affinity RV.
She's in good hands.
Yeah, we had Jason come in, and Jason was awesome and doing a very thorough walkthrough.
Yep.
So
documenting everything that we said.
Yeah, everything's on the list now. So they're going to see what they can get done, and then if they have to order any parts, they're going to get those ordered for us. We're going to boondock here tonight, and then they're going to be, just see as much as they can.
Yeah, they'll let us know when they call us around 2:30.
Yep. We're going to try to be back, and then because Grand Design has to have it by next week on the 11th. But we might have to bring the RV back here after Grand Design because they have to order parts. So it just depends on how fast they can get some parts.
And also how fast Grand Design can get done.
Yeah.
What they need to get done.
So now we have to go find something to do for the next 8 hours.
I have to work.
She has to work, but I'm free. We're gonna see what we can get into. headed to Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore.
Yes, one part of it.
Yeah. Mount Baldley? Something like that. I don't know. We pulled in the parking lot and there's a huge mountain of sand
It's
right in front of us.
It's steeper than the one that we did in Michigan.
Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Yeah.
It's steeper than that, but there's only one of them. And I believe there's a trail to walk around it. Basically, the dune separates us from Lake Michigan.
Yes, and so we're going to see if we can walk around it instead of hiking over it because we have the dogs with us.
Yep, and we got some time to kill as our RV is worked on.
Yes.
Back at Affinity.
So we figured this would be a good afternoon trip.
Yeah.
It was a little bit farther away than we thought.
Yeah. Different time zone.
Different time zone.
Again. Had a nice little hike to get here, but we're here. Lake Michigan.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Our dog's getting ready to jump off the cliff. Comet, get over here. Yeah, I mean, look at that water. So pretty. So we're at the top.
What the video doesn't show you is that there's a
nice little drop right here.
There's a drop.
But if you go right over on the other side of the camera, there's a path down to the beach.
Yeah, there's two of them. One in the sand and one through the wood line.
I mean, the water's just beautiful today. Clear, pretty blue.
Beautiful blue.
Yeah, as always. Looks like the ocean. It's like if you were coming up on like you were at a deserted island.
Yeah, well, when you're walking up that hill, it looks like you're like looking through the woods at the water, like the movies with the islands. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's really pretty. It's way down. It's just like straight down. So we don't have enough time. We're gonna head back, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back this weekend and try to make a day of it. Back in the RV. We are back at Affinity.
I love Affinity.
Yeah, they
and all the guys that work here.
And Grand Design has been great to work with too. So here's how today went down. They fixed everything except for two things that they needed parts for. One of them being the LED strip. The other thing they needed was the hanger for the generator exhaust.
The generator exhaust piece that hangs it from the frame broke off because of the vibrations from the generator running, and then of course the heat because that stuff gets super hot.
Yep. And
so that broke, and then our LED light strip that's on the back driver's side has never worked. I don't remember it ever working.
It worked, and then it went out. Because I remember having all four sides lit up.
It hasn't worked for a while. And so they have both of those parts on order.
And they took the MORRIDE suspension that they sent us that we couldn't install on our own, and they installed it for us.
They did. And then they also found a bushing
so the hanger.
That was bad, so they replaced the bushing for us as well.
So they did the estimate early this morning. Jason was great to work with, and then they sent a estimate over to Grand Design. They said they almost immediately got an approval from Grand Design.
Yeah, because this isn't a dealer, it's a repair facility, so they don't actually have this facility listed as a Grand Design place because it's not a dealership. So in order for us to get the repairs done under warranty and not have to pay for it, they have to get approval for Grand Design before they can complete the work.
But here's what we did to prepare for that. So Affinity is not an approved repair shop through Grand Design.
Right. Well, it's not listed as
as
their facility.
So here's what we did in advance. We made a list of everything that we wanted to have checked out, and we sent that to Grand Design, and we copied in Affinity.
Yeah.
Grand Design replied with a case number and said, Affinity, once they get there, do the estimate, send us the estimate.
And what parts you need.
And what parts you need, and we will send the approval over. So that's the process. It took a little bit of work before we got here.
Yep.
So if you're thinking about using Affinity, which we highly recommend, just keep that in mind if you're a Grand Design owner.
Right, and Affinity works with all different brands, and all of them are up here near them, and all of the suppliers are up here near them. So they have lots of connections, and they know a lot of people, and Rod and his team are the absolute best.
Lippert's right down the road. They come and bring parts, and
Yeah.
It's a really, really good place. So tomorrow, here's the other part. Affinity is really good at accommodating. So because we're
Customers,
full-timers, we can't just go get a hotel room. We have 3 dogs. So we are actually boondocking in his gated area.
Right, in his lot.
So they do have full hookup sites. He actually has 2 places, 2 or 3.
It's 2.
2 where you can do a full hookup. Unfortunately, they're already booked, but he's gracious enough to let us
Yeah,
hang
he said
out anyways.
you can boondock where we're parked at. If they were still working our rig, then we're fine where we're parked at. If they were done working on our rig and we were to stay in the night, we would have to move over to the grass area, which most people would recommend anyways, so that they can get to the building and have the spot for when they're starting at work at 5:30 in the morning.
But we don't have to be up till about 8.
Yeah, so they won't come knock on our door until like 8.
So moral of the story here is Affinity did a great job once again.
Yes.
Got everything done for us. Took,
And they care about
walked
their
us through the
people.
process.
Yep.
They really care about their craftsmanship and the work. Grand Design was great to work with. And we should be able to finish everything out tomorrow. Granted, that's relying on Grand Design getting us the 2 parts that they said they were going to get us.
Right. So if the parts don't come before we have to leave here tomorrow, we are still going to Grand Design
Next Wednesday.
And then
So hopefully they'll be here before then.
Right. And so then after we do that, if we need to, we can come back here on our way to Maine to get those 2 pieces. And
Right, once we
them.
leave Grand Design.
Because it shouldn't take long to install a strip in a hanger, but
I hope the door goes as smooth with Grand Design as
Affinity with the rest
it
of
did
the
with
stuff.
Affinity.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
could,
'cause
I'd get Affinity to do the side door, but unfortunately, because it's full body paint,
Right.
Grand Design has to do it.
Right, and so they were repairing the door. Affinity would repair it for us, but since Grand Design wants to replace the whole door, it has to be at Grand Design to be painted so that they can make sure the paint matches and the lines line up.
Yep, and we're going to work with them to try to get as many pictures or videos as we possibly can of what that process looks like. That's an update. That's where we're at this moment. We're going to go grab some dinner. She's going to log on and work.
Yes.
Because we spent the day traveling around trying to find something to do.
Yes.
I'm off this week, so that's been helpful. But we're going to go get some dinner.